All right, hello everybody. So welcome to another exciting session. So today we are going to do a hands-on on a case study. So which is basically how to analyze a cricket match. See, for a cricket analyst, the ability to analyze a match, right? It's so important. So one of the most primary skills for any cricket analyst. So without any further delay, let's jump right into our case study. Now I would like to divide this entire session into three parts. So the first part is getting the data, right? Obviously getting the data and doing some processing with it, right? Then second step is to ask questions and try answering those questions using the some of the simple techniques that I would like to show you. And number three is visualizing, right? So visualization is one of the most important aspects because a picture can say 1,000 words, right? So let us, and also storytelling in today's world is very, very important. So that is something that we'll be covering as a third part, right? So yes, first getting the data, then answering the questions using the data. Then third one is doing some visualization. So first step is to fetch the data. So for this case study, so we'll be using a website called Cricksheet. So if you have no idea about Cricksheet, I would recommend you to highly check out this Cricksheet website. So it is the most popular website to get any kind of cricket data, and it is completely free. Amazing, right? Now this is the cricksheet.org link. So if you just search for Cricksheet also, you'll get it in the first place. Now here just select downloads from the drop down menu. When you go to downloads, you will get this section. So a lot of people, what they do is they see the first few like the sections and see, okay, this is some unknown format, JSON, YAML format, I don't know how to get this data, how to view this data, all of this. So don't get into that trap. Instead, what you can do is scroll all the way to the bottom of your screen. Okay, so you see the dead end, right? Now from here, scroll up. Okay, so scroll up until you see something in CSV downloads. Okay, now you see you got CSV downloads, which is very familiar. You can use Excel to analyze all of this data, right? So here, now just scroll down from here. So we are looking for IPL data. So you can actually download any data, but I'm just using IPL data as a reference. Okay, so let's look at Indian Premier League. Okay, so we have Indian Premier League. So this is the latest as of 2024, right? So you have total of 1095. These are number of matches. Okay, and they have these formats, original and new. So just download the new format. Okay, so I already have this data, so I'm not downloading it again. If you don't have it, you just download it and yes, keep it open. So once you download it, so I'm just trying to open this folder. You can see it will be a simple zip file. So you can see this is a zip file, so you can compress it, right? So you can extract all, right? So just do an unzip. So after doing an unzip, this is what you finally get, right? So you can see each of these file is a match, right? So you have two sheets. One is the match information, basically who are the umpires, what team is playing, which date, which season, stadium name, who won the toss. All these kinds of data can be found inside this one. And the other sheet which has ball by ball data for every single match. Okay, so just summarizing whatever we did so far, very simple. So what we've covered is just the data collection part. So I'm going again to the top. So go to cricksheet.org. So that is a website that we are using. Go to download section. Don't get into the trap of this JSON format. Scroll all the way to the bottom of your screens, right? So there you'll find, so from here, go to CSV downloads. Then once you find the CSV downloads, right, so you can download IPL match data. So Indian Premier League, click on new format. You will be able to download the new format. Once you download the new format, that will be a zip file. So that zip file, when you extract the zip, you'll get all of this. Now inside this, you will have something called all matches data. So this is exactly what we will be working with. So here Let me just try to download this again. So I've been working on this data for the past few days, right? So yes, let me try to override this. Okay, I'm just downloading again. Awesome. So we have this data. Okay, so this is ready. Now let us try to extract this. Okay, so this will take some time. So while this is downloading, right? So for this case study, all you need is a simple Excel tool. So if you don't have an Excel, so please make sure you have Excel. So because that is something that we will be using for our analysis today. All right, so looks like, yes, my download is about to begin. Yes, few more seconds and it should be done. So I would recommend you to do this case study along with me. So that's the whole point of this hands-on case study. So try to download the data right now itself. Try to open Excel right now itself, right? So I'll wait for you guys. You can pause it here and then right, so whenever you are ready you can come back to it, right? So yes, I'll keep it on download. All right, so now my download is complete. So let me take a look at the download. Right, so here is my downloaded folder. So you can see I have all these files. So let us search for all matches data. Okay, so we have all matches data. So let us try to open that file. So we are done with our first part, so getting the data, right? And now let us take a look at this data, each column one by one. So it's very important to understand whenever you get any data set, the first step that you need to do is try to understand what is this data. So let us quickly look at each of these columns one by one. So I'll just zoom it for you in case right, so in case you need more clarity. So yes, first one is match ID. So basically every match is assigned an ID, and yes, it's a random ID, so nothing to do with it. Then you see season. So this is just the season 2008, 2009, so all of that. Then the next one is start date. So basically we are looking at the first match of the IPL, 18th April 2008. I'm sure many of you would have watched this match live as well, including me, right? So this was at Chinnaswamy. We can see the venue right here. And then the innings, right? So innings number 1. Then you have ball number 1 by 1. Then you have batting team, so team who's batting. Then you have bowling team. You have striker, who's the batsman on strike. Then non-striker, who's the batsman in the non-strikers end. Then you have the bowler, so who's the bowler right here. Then right, so till here it has all been names. Okay, so this has all been about name, some information about what right, so like about the setups, right? So yes, this is done. Now next, coming to the most important columns, which are basically outcomes, right? So what happened in this ball? So first, runs of bat. So how many runs were scored by a batsman off the bat? Then you have extras. So if it's, say for example, this third row, there's a wide, so 1 run coming from the extras. So then you have, is it a wide, is it a no ball, leg by, so all of this. Then you have penalties. So are there any penalty runs? Then wicket type, is it a catch or a bowl? So let's see if, yes, you can see there's a caught. Then there is, yes, a lot of caught, bowled. You can see a lot of these as well. Okay, so let's get back. Now next one is player dismissed. So if the, I mean, if there's a wicket fall, right, so who's the player who got out, right? So is it the striker, non-striker, all of those. Then other wicket types. So apart from general wicket types, like for example retired hurt, so it comes under other wicket type. Then you have other player dismissed. So yeah, so any other player dismissed, right? So just an extra columns right here. Okay, so that means the basic difference between this is, if he's a retired hurt, he's not actually out, right? So he's under other player dismissed. Okay, so now that we are clear on all of these data, so let us get a sample match. So let us pick one match and let us try to go deep into that match data. Okay, so I'm choosing the first match right here. So what you need to do is select all. So you can do Control A or Command A, right? So select all wherever you are, just select all, right? So this will select the entire data. Now you can do Control Shift L. So that is like applying a filter, right? So if you're not familiar with shortcuts, you can go to Home, and then there is this sort and filter. You can apply filter. Okay, once again showing it for all of you. Do a Control A. This is basically to select all, or Command A if you're on Mac. Home, then sort filter, go to filter. Okay, so you have a filter applied. Then this match, so what is this match? Basically 335982. So just put that into this filter. So you have to do unselect all of this and select only this match 335982. Select OK. Okay, so yes, if you want to check, you can do a Control down arrow, so that will take you to the last filtered row. You can see the blue ones are the filtered ones, only 226 rows are there. Okay, now select all of this, do a Control A again, copy, do Control C. Now create a new sheet. Okay, so you can create a new sheet right here. And now what you can do is go to Home, click on Paste down arrow, right, and do Paste Values. Once again, create a new sheet, right, go to Home, Paste Values. So this will automatically paste all of this 226 rows, whatever we have selected for one single match. Okay, so let us cross verify it. Do Control down arrow. This will automatically tell you that this is match. So we can rename this match. So let us rename it to match data. Okay, so this is all matches where you have all kinds of data, right, but we selected only one match. So this is something that we will be working with. Okay, so now you can actually format this data a little bit just to make it visually better. So do Control A. So again, now then go to Home, right, so there is this borders, right, so you can click on this and do all borders. So this will add borders to your data, and then you can highlight these column names. So what you can do is select this entire row, or you can also do Control Shift right arrow, right? So Control Shift right arrow will automatically select all these particular ones, or you can do it with your mouse as well, but I would recommend you to do it with the keyboard shortcuts. The better you learn keyboard shortcuts, the faster you can do your work. Okay, Control Shift right arrow will select all of this. Go to Home and do bold, or you can also do Control B, that will bold, and also you can add fill color if you want. Okay, so now you see we clearly understand what is this each column represent, right, and which is already highlighted here as well. Okay, so this is looking good already, right? So already we are feeling like an analyst, right? So now we have to do some kind of additions. I'll tell you what are these, right? So for example, there is this runs of the bat, and there is this extras. Okay, so now if I have to if I select this column, right, so now if I select this column, I get, so here you can see the sum is 268. Okay, so the sum is 268. Now what you can do is again do Control A, apply filter. So let us filter out, let's say KKR. I want to find out KKR score. I just want to verify that the data is actually fine, right? So I can filter out only KKR team through this filter. Okay, if I click on this, okay, so now only KKR has been selected from our filter. Now go to runs of the bat. So you can see runs of the bat is 205, right, and how many extras? So extras are 17. So yes, 205, 17. Let us cross check with CricBuzz. Okay, so let us cross check with CricBuzz. So I'll just search CricBuzz. Okay, I already have it open, right? So if you just search for RCB KKR first match, you will get this link directly. So how many runs did KKR actually score? 222. Okay, so 222 in the 20 overs, as you can clearly see here. Now what does our Excel sheet say? Runs of the bat is 205 and 205 extras is 17. Okay, so 205 plus 17 is actually 222. So our Excel sheet is right. Okay, so that is good news. Now what you need to do is now remove this filter. Okay, so now that we feel our data is good, so what we can do is add one column next to the extras. Okay, so yes, just select this whites and insert. So this will automatically insert a new column. Let us call it total underscore runs. Okay, so yes, I've created a new column which is total underscore runs. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now total runs is basically in that ball how many runs were scored. Okay, so what you can do is just apply equal to. So any formula in Excel starts with an equal to. Okay, so use equal to this runs of the bat plus extras. Okay, so L2 plus M2. So L2 is basically this value plus this value. Enter. Okay, you see 1, and now there is this magic about Excel. Okay, you can see this whenever I put my mouse close to this small dot to the edge, it turns into this plus symbol. You see, small mini plus symbol, click on that and it will automatically apply the formula to all the rows. Okay, so beautiful, right? Now why did we add this? Now look at, just select this total runs. You can see right, so total runs right here is 226. All right, I'm sorry, so 226 is the number of rows, right? So sum you can see is 304. So 304 is basically total runs in this entire match. If you add up, so KKR scored 222 and RCB scored 82, right? So if you sum this up, we actually get 304. So total runs, from total runs you will be able to get the total runs scored in each and every single ball. Okay, so now this part is also clear. So this is good. Now our next step is, look at this ball number, right? So you have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 and so on. But let us say I want to extract, just by looking at this we can say, okay, so this is first ball, second ball, third ball, right? But now if I have to explicitly add what is the over number, I want to find out what is the over number and what is the ball number in that over. Okay, so let's say I want to find out this, so we have to extract it from this column only, right? So what you can do is insert two columns here. I'm inserting two more columns, one column here, one column here. Okay, so two empty columns are created. Now select this column, ball F column, go to data, right? So there is this data, then do text to columns, then okay, so just do next, and so here just select, go to other, right, and put a dot, so which is basically full stop, right? So put a full stop. Now you can see automatically bottom it is separating 0 and 1, 0 and 2, right? Looks like a magic, right? Once again I'll show you again, so don't worry, right? I'm just closing this, select this column, go to data, text to columns, then next, which is under delimited, go to next, then other, put a dot which is basically your full stop, then click on next. It will automatically understand what to do, then do a finish. So it says the data is already there, do you want to replace it? Basically I don't want to replace it, just do a cancel. What you can do is copy this and paste it here, right? Because I don't want to disturb the existing column also, right? So let us copy it and then do it on the other one. So yes, text to columns once again, delimited, others, then finish. So yes, now I can replace. Okay, look at the beauty here, right? So I'll just name it over number, and then this is ball number. So we are able to extract 0 and 1 separately, 0 and 2 separately, and so on for every single row, right? Now there is also one more small thing that is left here. So this over number, this is actually not true, because so this is actually first over, right? But this is giving us 0, not really 0, but this is the first over. So what you can do is create one more column, right? So add one more column, insert one more column, and here over number new, and just adding over number new, and then do 1 plus this G2. Okay, so enter. So now this will automatically add 1 to every single. Once again, let us click on this, go to this corner, bottom right corner, click on this, it will automatically add up. Okay, once again, how did I add this new column? So you can add a new column just before. Okay, I named it ball number. So now select this, do right click, insert, so name it over number new, and what you have to do is just do 1 plus G2, so that will automatically add to all the cells. So okay, so we have all the things that we need: over number, ball number, total runs, everything is ready. So now let's move on to our next step, which is basically analyzing the data. Okay, so for this we'll be using pivot tables, right? So I'll tell you how to use these pivot tables. These are so powerful, right? I mean, almost looks like a magic. Okay, so I'll tell you how to create a simple pivot table and what is the main purpose of using these pivot tables. Now, for any analysis, the most important thing is to ask questions. Okay, so without asking questions, how will you even analyze, and how will you even start thinking, right? So you need to come up with a question. Like for example, let's say I want to know runs scored by KKR, runs scored by RCB separately. Okay, so this is my first question. Okay, my first question is runs scored by KKR, runs scored by RCB. I have to find out both. How do I get the answer to it? I'll first tell you the answer first, and then I'll show you how exactly I am doing this. Okay, so Control A, create a pivot table. You can go to insert, pivot table, from table. Okay, on a new worksheet, what I am looking for is the batting team. I'll put the batting team into these rows, and then I want total runs. I'll put this into values. Look at this, my answer is right here. 222 scored by KKR, 82 scored by RCB. Is that right from ClickSheet? It is absolutely spot on, 222 and 82, right? So looks like a magic, right? I'll show you how you can also achieve this. So yes, so let me show you in a slow-mo, right? So yes, do a Control A, select all the data. Now we have to create a pivot table, right, which is the answer for all your questions. Insert, when you click on insert, first option, pivot table, click on down arrow, then from table. Okay, so then new worksheet, click on OK. So this will automatically get you this type of a window. Now here, pay attention to this. This is very, very important, because all your questions can be answered just using this pivot table. Okay, so you can see all the columns of our sheet right here: match ID, season start date, all the way to other player dismissed. Then you have four important things: filters, columns, rows, values. So I'll tell you how to use each of these one by one. Right, so my first question was runs scored by KKR, runs scored by RCB, right? Now here basically I want the teams, right? So teams are my most important thing. I want to know answer about teams. Whatever answer you want to know about, put them into rows. Okay, so what is it right now? The teams. So basically batting team. Okay, so batting team. So put them into rows. Now the next, the value that you are looking for, put it into values. Okay, so total runs, put this into values. That's all, right? You can see right here. Okay, this is my first question. So I have answered my first question. I'm just right, I've created my first question. So now my next question, so I'll put Q1 here, runs scored by each team. So this sheet will be shared by our team. So just you can use this for your practice also. Okay, so I'm just highlighting this. Just give me a second. Okay, so we are able to get this run scored by each team. Now my second question. Okay, now moving on to my question number 2. Runs scored by each player in this match. Okay, this is a very interesting question, isn't it? Right? So let's see how many runs were scored by each player in this match. Let us find out. You can just I'm just removing these grid lines just to make it more clear for you. So we have found out the first answer to this. Okay, so now for the next one, you don't have to create a pivot table once again. So what you can do is copy this this entire pivot table and then paste it. okay, so that you will avoid the complete headache of creating pivot tables each and every single time. Okay, question number 2, runs scored by each player in this match. Now again, what is the column, like what is the column that you are trying to calculate? So this time it is players, isn't it? So you want the players in the rows. So let us look at strikers. Okay, so let us remove this batting team. Let us remove these runs also completely. Now first one that you need is the striker. Let us put the striker. Okay, so striker, we've got it. Now if you want to divide this striker into each team, you can also do that. Put this batting team into these rows just above the striker. Now you can see it has divided KKR batsmen separately. It has divided RCB batsmen separately, which is amazing, correct? Now next step is runs scored by each player in this match. So now this is a question for all of you. Just try to do it by yourself. What should be in the values? I'll pause for a second. Okay. Now if your answer was total runs, you're wrong, my friends. It has to be runs of the bat, right? So basically we are trying to calculate number of runs scored by each batsman. I'll put this into runs of the bat. Now you see runs of the bat by each batsman. So Brendon McCullum 158. Did we get it right? McCullum 158, spot on. David Hussey 12. David Hussey 12. Mohammad Hafiz 5. Mohammad Hafiz 5. Ricky Ponting 20. Ricky Ponting 20. Ganguly 10. Ganguly 10. Beautiful, isn't it? So very good, right? So now I'm clear with my second question as well. Now let's make the things little spicier. Question number 3, right? Players with top strike rates in this match. Okay, so if you're already familiar with Excel, you already know how to do all of this. I would recommend you to pause the video right here and do it by yourself. That would be a fun exercise. Okay, once again, right, so yes, others, you can just follow my steps here. Once again, we'll copy this pivot table. Okay, now remove all of this. We don't want to use any of these. Let's do it all by ourselves. Players with top strike rates in this match. Once again, players is the column that we are looking for. So player here is nothing but the striker. Put the striker into rows. And now comes a very interesting one. So, okay, you can also add batting team. I'm adding this by default. First, see, to calculate strike rate, you need two things. You need runs, you need balls, correct? Now let's quickly add runs, which we already did in the last one, runs of the bat. Okay, so David, this is bread and butter for us, right? So tell me what's next. Next comes a very tricky one, right? So how do I add the number of balls, right? So what you can do is you can take the ball number, right? So the ball, right? So the column of ball is there, right? So let's try to get this ball and try to add this into values. Now you see the problem here is as soon as I put this, it is by default taking as a sum of the ball, right? Now this is like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 12.4, 12.6. It is adding all of those because it doesn't understand cricket, right? So Excel doesn't understand cricket. We have to make Excel understand cricket, correct? Now what you can do is, but instead you need to count balls. Like this is ball number 1, ball number 2, ball number 3. You have to count it, right? Now to count it, all you have to do is click on this down arrow, then go to value field settings and then count. Okay, so click on OK. Now you see the magic. You have the count of ball right in front of you. You have the runs, you have the count of ball, right? So isn't this beautiful? Now let us try to divide both of them. So strike rate is what? 100 into this 205 divided by this 124. 165 strike rate. Let us cross check. What happened here? Okay, so this is actually KKR. We don't need this value at all. So this is for individual players, right? So yes, again 100 into 158 divided by 77. 205 strike rate, is this right? 205, 158 of 73. So what happened here? Now look at this. Okay, so David, you did something wrong. Yes, my friends, I'm also wrong. What happened here is we ignored extras. How can we ignore extras? So we have to remove those extras. So let's do one thing. Let us add a filter, right? So we need to add filter. So time to use one of the features of pivot table. Okay, so here we've used rows, we've used values. Now let us try to use filter as well. So filter, we have to remove wides and no balls, correct? So let us try to add wides. Let us try to add no balls to these filters. Okay, it is saying you don't have the extra row. Okay, Excel, I am trying to add an extra row for you. Give me a second. So I'm just adding the rows first. So basically, see, this filter will try to add couple of rows here, right? So if my Excel doesn't have place, it does not know where to add. So that is why it is giving these errors. Okay, so okay, once again go back, this filter, put whites into this filter, put no balls into this filter. Now okay, so it has understood. Okay, I have to add filters. So whites, let us click on these whites. So here, so you can see there are select multiple items. So now we don't want one white, two whites, five whites. Let us remove all of these whites, right? And now click on OK. You see automatically these have been changed, isn't it? Same with the no balls. So let's look at no balls. So there was a no ball in this match, so that is completely fine. So now you can see 158 of 73. So yes, now look at this, 158 of 73, that is right. 12 of 12 David Hussey, 12 of 12. 5 of 3 Muhammad Hafiz, yes, 5 of 3. 20 of 20 Ponting, 20 of 20, right? 10 of 12 Ganguly, 10 of 12. Wonderful. So David, perfect, right? So now let's calculate the strike rate finally, which is our exact question. 158. Okay, start with an equal to 100 into 158 divided by 73. This will give you 216 strike rate, which is exactly 216 precise. Now yeah, so here you can't apply this. Let's try to apply this. Okay, so what happens is you can't apply this formula directly because this is not a normal table, this is a pivot table, right? So here what you need to do is don't try to apply formulas to pivot table. So what you can do is copy, and now just to the side of it, right, just do home, paste values. You can create your own data here. So here it is the player, then runs scored, so make it more detailed, runs scored, balls faced. Okay, so now it looks elegant, isn't it? Runs scored, balls faced. Okay, so let's expand it. So this is not needed for us, this is team, right? So let's keep it in bold. Let us also highlight this in bold. You can just beautify this. I'm just making it more pleasant for you, that's all. So these are no extra points for doing all of this, just finding out the answer. So that is the most important thing, right? So just align it, and then this is RCB. You can remove this, right? So I'm just merging this, home, merge center, and even this also you can merge these two as well, home, merge. Okay, so now this looks amazing, right? So we have KKR. So here all you have to do is add one more, which is your, sorry, right, spelling mistake, strike rate. So just divide 100 into this G37 divided by H37, you will get your strike rate. So you can click on this dot and then drag it till here. Okay, so you are able to get this, and you can drag it furthermore till here, right? So this grand total and all is not necessary, we can delete this. Now you can see we have, so almost done. So let us just simplify this. You can add a border for this also, you can align this also. I'll add a border, I'll align this, and now you can make it more clear. So here in the format option, just go to number. So now you can see, wonderful, right? So for every batsman we have the exact like so strike rate that you can compare it to any other website as well. Okay, amazing, right? So let's quickly summarize what did we do so far. We started with runs scored by each team, used pivot table as our magic, put important column into rows, whatever value you need, put them into values, then runs scored by each player, and then players with top strike rates. You can see, okay, so I think we haven't finished. So who's the top strike rate here? So top strike rate is obviously McCallum with the humongous record breaking score. I'll just highlight the answers in green. So we've got our first answer. Now who's the second one? You can also sort this. I'm just showing you just manually here. Okay, Muhammad Hafiz, and with 166 strike rate, and third one is looks like it is Praveen Kumar. Yeah, that is interesting, right? So these are our top strike rates in this match. Okay, so now one final thing before we move on to the visuals. Okay, David, you're also biased towards batsmen. Let's do something for the bowlers. Okay, let's take all of this. So let's say my question number 4 is about bowlers and how many wickets taken by each team. Okay, so wickets, I'm just changing this, wickets taken by each team. I'll put question number 4. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Now we already have the team name, right? So but is it the right team name? No, right? Because batting team. So what we want is a bowling team. So let us remove it. Let us remove total runs also. Let us add the bowling team. Okay, so the next column that we have to go after is player dismissed. Okay, so yes, player dismissed. You can put this player dismissed into this values, and automatically it has recognized as count. So this is also counting who has dismissed, right? So yes, KKR has dismissed 10 players, RCB has dismissed only 3 players. Okay, so wickets taken by each team. So listen to the question carefully. Wickets taken by each team, right? Now if the same question is wickets lost by each team, then you have to put the batting team. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So let's move on to the next topic, which is basically our visualization. Now this visualization, I have a very interesting visual in front of you, right? So for example, there is this chart which is nothing but an innings progression chart. I'll show you what this is. Okay, if you just search for innings progression and go to images, you see these graphs. Okay, innings progression, you can type it innings progression in cricket. Okay, so something like this, right? So now let me see if we have some. Okay, we see we are getting. Okay, so now I think we have the right graph. So look at this graph. Okay, so these graphs are very famous, right? We see them on TV also, right? So how like the teams have progressed throughout the innings along with runs, overs, right? So this just one chart tells you so much story, right? So now let us also try to create this own chart by ourselves. Okay, so I'll teach you how to do this. First, again, I'll show you how to do this very fast, and then I'll explain you each step one by one. Now let's go back to our chart. So for this, I'm also using the same match data. So again, select all, do a pivot table, right? So yes, pivot table, create a new sheet. So I'm doing over by over. So let us put over number into these rows. And now I want to have runs of each team in the columns. I'll put batting team into columns. Okay, I have KKR and RCB. Then I want total runs. Okay, I'm putting total runs. Okay, so now I have both of these. Because this is pivot table, I can't do much magic with it, so I'm copying it and pasting this table just right here, home, paste values. Okay, so I'm removing whatever is not necessary for us. Okay, just expand this. So this grand total is not needed. I'm removing this. So you can remove it by selecting a column and do control minus, that will delete. So I'll put a shortcut KKR runs. This is RCB runs. This is over number. Oh, just a second, I think I made a mistake. Okay, everyone does mistakes, no problem with it. Instead of over number, remember we added a new column, over number new. Let us use that column. Okay, right, so this is exactly what we need, right? So let's copy it again. Sorry for my mistake, I'm deleting this. Okay, copy, then go to home, paste values. So now let's name it over number. Let us delete unnecessary things. KKR runs, RCB runs, and select this. By control space bar will select you the column, and control minus will remove this column. Then go to the bottom one, so we don't need grand total, remove this. Right, so now we have this. So select this, now add a simple border, and then this alignment. Let us highlight the column names. I'll just zoom it for you. Okay, so just making it more visually appealing. See, because visualization is all about making it more appealing for our eyes, isn't it? Right? So okay, so now very simple, right? So just select all the data, insert, go to this charts. What we need is a line chart basically, right? So let's see, where is this line chart? Okay, so something is coming. I've selected a line chart. So David, something is off. What's happening? I know what is happening, right? So here what is happening is, what we've got is runs scored in each over. So that is why we are getting a dummy graph. Okay, so insert chart, this line will give you some random dummy graph, right? Instead of this, if you convert, okay, let us delete this graph and do something very interesting. Okay, now if we can select, okay, let me choose a bar graph. Okay, so 2D column. Now look at this beautiful graph that we have generated. Okay, so you can delete this blue column. So blue column is the over number, right? Now look at this. These are runs scored by each team in every single over number. Over number 1. Okay, so orange team scored 3 runs. This one scored 4. Okay, isn't this beautiful? Right? So we've created a chart out of a mistake. That is a blessing in disguise. So now let us just do some branding work also. So let us yeah, I'll just once again, right? So visual means you have to be very careful of every single thing that you do, because right, so people will judge you based on what you see, right? So just make sure if everything is fine. Okay, we'll change the color to some gold yellow. Okay, this doesn't look good. Let's make it okay, so this looks fine. Now for RCB, let's make it red. Okay, so yes, this red is looking good. Now this looks good. This looks more like an RCB CSK, right? So sorry, okay, it does look like a CSK, but instead it's a KKR match. Okay, let me just make it to, okay, I think this one looks good. Okay, so this one is more like a KKR. Okay, now you can add the titles, right? So make sure you add the titles, because without titles no one will understand what are you trying to say. KKR versus RCB, right? So this is so this graph is called Manhattan. So you can type it here. So it's called Manhattan. And now you can also add axis titles. Axis titles is basically what does the x-axis say, what does the y-axis say. Y-axis here is runs, and x-axis here is what? Let me just try to move this KKR RCB thing to, okay, let us expand it a bit. So this is basically over number, right? So you have over number runs. So let us expand this a little bit, little more, right? So we are right, so we have this graph very clear. And you can also, like, if you just still want to beautify it, right, so you can put a fill color to little gray. So this makes it look much cleaner, better. Sometimes I'm just trying to add a gray here. Okay, right? So adding gray to your charts actually makes it look more like a newspaper feeling, so that's why I prefer gray most of the times. So yes, we have one graph ready. I'm just putting this graph right here. Okay, so but David, our thought was to create a warm chart. So where is our warm chart? I'm just coming to that, right? So now you don't have to again create a new pivot table. Copy this. We should not waste our resources, correct? Now see, if you observe this warm chart, so this is basically cumulative runs, right? So runs added over time. So here also we need that runs added over time. So first over 3 runs, second over 18 runs. So that means by the end of second over, KKR have scored 21 runs, right? So we need that kind of a value. So how do you get that value? Excel will do it in 2 clicks. How? Do a right click on this column, then show values as, and then running total in, and then click on OK. Look at this. Look at this. We have the answer right away. This code 222, this code 82. Isn't this amazing? Okay, so now again we have the values ready. Let's not waste any time. Let's try to replicate whatever we did on the top. Okay, instead of paste we should do paste values. Okay, paste values, and now delete, name it over number, KKR runs, RCB runs, and then okay, so let us delete these values, select all, home. Okay, so just adding these borders here and all just to make it look better. Then delete this, we don't need this. Then what else? Let's do a bold of it, and then just highlight the column names a bit. Okay, so now select this, then create your own chart, go to insert, and then go to this line graph, right? So we need a line graph. Okay, here we see almost close to that warm charts, right? So remove this blue line, we don't need this blue line. KKR RCB. Now again do some branding work, select this line, do a right click, format chart area. Okay, so click on this line. Let us change the line to golden yellow, and even this line to red, just to make it look more like an RCB. Wonderful, right? So we are actually, right, so like almost done, right? So this is KKR versus RCB. So this is called a warm chart, right? But you may say, David, one thing is missing here. What is it? Wickets. Where are the wickets, right? So yes, we're not done with the chart yet, right? So we have to add wickets. So that is actually little tricky, right? Because wickets is not that straightforward. So let me show you how you can do the wickets as well. So that's why I wanted to show you this step by step. Okay, I'm just creating one more pivot table, right? So just trying to make it more clear. See, I can do it here itself, and yeah, so put everything at one place, but I want to make sure you understand what I'm doing, right? So running like this runs is easy, but the wickets is not that straightforward. I'll tell you how to add wickets in a simple way. Now wickets, we need to add one more column, which is basically player dismissed. Player dismissed, put it into values. Now you can see player dismissed has added this one, all of this. Okay, perfect. We have the values ready. So David, what are you waiting for? Okay, we'll just copy these values, and once again go to home, paste values. Okay, so a lot of unnecessary stuff. Let us remove everything. We don't need any of this stuff. Okay, so let us clean up everything. So first one is over number, next one is KKR runs, next one is KKR wickets, next one is RCB runs, RCB wickets. The rest of it we can delete. This is actually grand total and stuff. No need to add these values. And let us remove this bottom row also, just clean it up. So I would recommend you to do it along with me, right? So just slow it down, have a yeah, so just copy whatever I'm trying to do here, right? So quickly done this. Now okay, highlight this. Okay, now add, yeah, just a second, right? So this is done now. Okay, so yes, what are we waiting for? Just take this, just do a plot. So here you have to be little careful. So what you have to do is go to recommended charts and go to, so this is all charts, right? So this is all charts, and click on combo. And now so select, like for example, for runs, what do we need? For runs we need a line chart, isn't it? And for wickets, what do we need? So wickets should be a dots scatter. Then RCB runs also in line, then RCB wickets also in scatter, right? So scatter is dots. Then click on OK. So did we get the final graph? No. So David, what is this? What happened? Something is off. Over number. Let us remove this over number, all these blue color graphs. But these wickets, these are dots, but these dots are like, why are they ones? Now that is an interesting question, right? So my friends, what happens when you do this is, so this one is plotted against the runs, right? Against these runs, this one is plotted, but this is not what we need, right? So this is plotting over number 6 and 1 value, right? So over number 13 and 1. So instead what you have to do is remove this one, replace it with runs. Let's see what happens, the magic. Okay, you see this dot has moved to here. Let's move this 124. Another dot has moved to here. Wonderful. So let's move this dot also to make it 179. Amazing. Okay. Now you see we are getting that warm chart finally. Okay, now do the same for RCB. 9, 12, 24, 26, 38, 43. Each dot is moving to that line. You see the magic, right? 59, 77 and 82. Amazing. Okay, we are done. And after 82, like, they actually got all out, right? So no, we don't need to add these values at all, because yeah, they're all out by this time. Now so yes, actually there were 2 wickets in an over, so that we are like, because we are taking over number, we are not getting the more detailed chart. You can do the same thing ball by ball as well. You can take ball number and do the same exercise, so that will yield you more results. So now yes, we are almost close to finishing the session. So yes, do a right click, format chart area. Now let us just format them to just simplify things a little bit. Change the color to golden yellow, and yes, the same for RCB as well, to red, and change these dots to the opposite colors. So these markers I'm just changing them to opposite colors, and here it is yes, go to this marker and make it KKR's color. Okay, so because yeah, so opposite team, yeah, okay, I think there's some issue. Solid, this is fill. Okay, border color, I'll make it yellow. I think this one is not that visible. I'm just making a, okay, I think still it makes it looks like a CSK. This colors are very tricky, that's always. So just do it whatever is comfortable for you, but I'm just highlighting it here, right? So just make sure you wrap this up. Okay, awesome. So we have this, and access titles. Let us add all the titles. Now this is the real warm chart, right? So KKR versus RCB 2008. I'll add Chinnaswamy 2008. Okay, so you can add whatever you want, just make it look more appealing to the eyes. Okay, just expand a little bit. Now for my own satisfaction, I'll just add this gray color, because I'm a fan of gray. Okay, wonderful, already looking really cool. Bold this. Okay, and we forgot to add the titles, so let us add the title. This is runs, and this is overs, right? Amazing. So yes, so that is how, my friends, you can create your own chart as well, right? So with just simple things, simple tricks, right? So just pay attention, so just go through it carefully, whatever I have explained. I'll just summarize whatever I have explained so far so that you understand. So first we started with a simple bar graph for taking the over number into the rows, then adding the total runs into each of these columns, and you will end up with a graph something like this, right? So this is also beautiful graph, right? So every over you get to see how many runs are scored by each team in each over. So then we started doing about the warm chart. We just started with the runs first because runs is a lot more easier, but the trick is cumulative runs. So make sure you add that cumulative runs, and then we started tackling about the wickets. So how to add the wickets? So you need to have the player dismissed column first, and then wherever you see a wicket, replace it with the runs, right? So once you replace it with the runs, you will see this beautiful graph right here, right? So you see the graph looks really good, and it is presentable, and this also tells you the story of the match as well. I think this yellow color is still disturbing to me. Let me just, yeah, so just remove this marker. Yes, okay, now I'm happy. Okay, so this looks more clear, right? So yes, opposite teams. All right, so now yeah, so this is what is about, right? So we started with the data collection, processed it, answered some questions, and also tried to visualize some of the results as well, right? So now a small activity for all of you guys is basically I want you to do this by yourself, right? So pick any match, whether it's IPL, T20, any league, BBL, CPL, PSL, any league. You can take crick sheet, you have the crick sheet. Simplest is IPL, right? So pick IPL. Now go to Reddit. If you are not part of Reddit, so join our channel. It's r/cricket analytics. So go to Reddit and search for this. You will get this community. So join this. So all you have to do is just submit your assignment here, right? So how do you submit an assignment? So create a post, right? So click on this create a post, put the title, so it could be any match of your choice, and then in the body, so try to attach an image or a video or anything, or the tables or anything. So I would say images. So you can just post a screenshot of whatever things that you have. For example, I'll just quickly show you how, like for example, I'm just using a snippet tool. So I'm just snipping up to here, right? So I've copied this. So what I would do is go to Reddit, right? So I'll paste this graph. So this is CSK, sorry, my mind is always KKR, CSK, RCB. So KKR versus RCB, right? So 2008. So put some match, right? So, or you can say warm chart analysis, right? And you can add the tag. So add the tag 5 days of cricket analytics, click on add, and then post it, right? So once you post it, so this will be posted right into this channel. Okay, so yes, if you click on this post, you will see that your post is submitted, right? So your post is done. Okay, so I hope this is clear. I hope you enjoyed the session. I would love to see what you guys have built for me, right? So yes, see you all in our next session. Till then, take care. Bye bye.